we don't have to go through that. And to be able to be on the other side of it and be married now, and to be able, because man, I love having some good time with you, you know what I'm saying?
It's a grace, it's a grace, oh, leading my family to freedom, following Christ to the kingdom.
Sex before marriage can be, obviously, I'm gonna say it straight, like it could be.
Ask me why I feel great, I can feel the power of the grace, it's the grace.
Recording. Ricardo is recording.
Hi, great family. Today we're going to be talking about a little touchy subject that me and Candace both dealt with, and I feel like a lot of people deal with it. We want to talk about sex before marriage and how to go. I don't even know how to do that. We're just going to talk about it. So glad you guys came to sit down with us. This may be a longer video, so grab yourself a cup of juice.
And if you're under the age, just turn the video off.
No, they don't gotta turn the video off.
I'm
This
just
is
kidding.
good information.
I'm just kidding.
This will
It was
help
a
you guys
joke.
out big time.
Yeah, but then they go in the room and then all they hear is their parents are like, sex.
Parents, if you're watching this video,
It's very informative.
yeah, we're gonna explain things to the best of our ability. This is the birds and the bees. All right? No, I'm just saying.
No, it's not the birds and the bees.
So I'll just jump straight off. Sex before marriage. I can say from my experience, I was in a previous relationship, obviously, and sex was involved in the relationship. We weren't married. It was just I was involved, or I was sexually active before being married. And it's, from my experience, it just it changes your point of view on a lot of things. If you've noticed, if you've been in the same situation like me, and you can see what your side is. For me, when I was in that relationship, it was like my mind switched. It was a little different. Things were different. Like I treated her differently. She treated me a little differently. And it was like the relationship changed. And then after the relationship, it was like there was an attachment. It's like I didn't want to let go of the relationship. So it's like it was just really weird. I could put it that way. Looking back then, that's the attitude towards it was, I thought everything was just really weird. Everything was different. And looking now, I can just look back and say, like, it's mostly just because obviously I was ignorant of certain things. It's weird talking about it. But what do you, as far as me saying that things were weird, like, how was it on your end? Because we've both experienced this.
Well, I wouldn't say necessarily. Well, I can look back now and say that it was weird. But during the time, I don't necessarily think that it was, or I didn't necessarily think it was weird. Because at that time, I was ignorant.
Now, not the actual action, not like,
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like the thought process behind it.
That's what I'm
okay,
saying.
cool. Okay, interesting. This is interesting. I didn't know this. Let's go.
Wait, what?
No, like it's like we got two different point of views. So it's pretty cool. Not different point of views, but different,
So
like the way we handled it was
saying
differently.
that was weird about it?
I'm saying it was weird because I'm like, what is it inside of me that changed? But I didn't know where to point it, or I didn't know what it was.
Well, see, at that time, that's what I'm saying. For me, it wasn't weird because I wasn't questioning anything.
Okay, see,
I didn't question that. For me,
something's
it's
off.
like I felt like it was normal. Like being attached to somebody, and because of the intimacy, it was normal. I didn't know any difference. I didn't know any better, I guess you could say. So it's like, I was just like, this is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm attached to that person, and I thought I was all in love.
All right.
Yeah, so it's like, it's weird because at a young age, you think that you're in love. It's like, I can say now that I wasn't, and I didn't understand what being in a relationship meant. So like back then I thought, I was like, I love this person and I don't want to be without this person. And
yeah, so that's what I'm
like,
saying. Like that's the things that
like the obsession. It's an obsession or an addiction. It's like you can say
it both ways. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you can say that you were addicted to the person.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like based off of
and I can even
the
say
person.
from,
It's like just the intimacy of
like from back when I was in high school, like in the relationship, once sex got involved, my view of her changed. The girl I was in a relationship with, it wasn't as interesting, or like, and you can even put, I'm not saying just high schoolers, but I think even going into marriage or anything like that, when it comes to sex before marriage, when you have sex, it really changes your perspective of that person and how you see them. Doesn't matter what it is, because before sex, there's just like a difference, or not a difference, but something is different after the fact. Something changes. And I see that it's kind of, you lose the anticipation. And there's no anticipation anymore, or on that subject. So you're just like, was I in it just for sex? I already fulfilled that, so I'm kind of just like, you know what I'm saying? I'm done with it.
Yeah.
Or was I in it for the long haul and I want to get married, and the view is different, because obviously after you're married and then you cut, what is it called?
Cut covenant?
Not cut covenant, but when you do the marriage. Consummate the marriage.
When you
do the
marriage.
When you consummate the marriage, nothing changes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still have the same feelings for you, versus if my motives were different. If I just wanted sex and I had sex, and it's like, I'm done. So I think it just changes your point of view on that person if you're immature, don't know what you're doing.
Right.
What do you think?
I agree.
Because I know in my situation, it was like, I didn't understand what was going on. I'm just like, I don't know what it is. What's funny is I like, after sex, lost interest in that person while in the relationship. Then once we broke up, I had interest back for that person. So it's like,
because you want what you can't have.
Right. No, that's what it is. You really do.
Yeah.
You want what you can't have.
When you're immature, you think about the chase of everything, like
you want the excitement, or like the thrill.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So
that's really what points it out.
That's unfortunate, and that's a really sad thing, because I can't say that I experienced it the way you did. I feel like it's different for females, or for women, or ladies, however you want to say it, because I didn't have that. I feel like once there was an intimacy, it was like obsession, like straight up obsession.
Okay, I could see that.
Because I think women automatically think like, okay, I gave you the goods, now let's get married. Right. I feel like that's how women are.
But at the same time, you can't say that. But I can see that majority. I can say
for myself, so I can't really say for a whole woman in general. But I can say for myself, that's how it was.
I can even say for myself though, like, I was in that relationship, and I'm like, being young, I look back and I'm like, that was silly of me to think that, but it's like, I wanted to get married. You know what I'm saying? But so I wouldn't necessarily say it's only females, but I can say that for some it's like that. For others, it's not, depending on your motives. Yeah. For the relationship.
True. Yeah, because one person's all in and the other person's like,
yeah, you see it real quick. Yeah, that reveals everything real quick, but don't do that to reveal everything, because there's other ways to do that. It's obviously like, you know, go on dates and test that person out, see what they like, see what they don't like, versus have intimacy and then figure out that you really don't like this person or want to be with this person. Because like, that's learning the hard way, and it's really hard. And one thing that I dealt with, and I explained, I can't remember who we were talking with, but it was at growth groups. We have a little group we get together with and just talk, and it's mostly it is just our friends. And at growth group, I was explaining how I was in a relationship with this girl my sophomore year, and we broke up, I think, going into my junior year, maybe somewhere in there. But from sophomore year all the way into my sophomore year in college, I couldn't even get over this girl. I was like stuck because of that choice I made. So it's like, at that age, it's really hard to tell and be able to judge what you really want. And if you make decisions based off of how you feel and what you want, like, of course you're going to desire sex. Especially like once you go through puberty and all that stuff, and like you realize stuff about yourself, it's like you're going to want certain things. And like, it's tough. It's hard. I'm not saying it's easy, but like, sheesh, it just changed everything. And then like, like getting over her was having to learn about myself and forgive myself for certain things, which is what we were talking about in growth group, is forgiveness.
Yeah.
And it's like I had to go through this whole long process of how many years? 4 years. Not even in a relationship, just stuck on her. That's crazy, huh?
Yeah. Well, I think it's different. It was different for me. Like, I experienced the soul tie experience like you did, but I feel like the aftermath of it, like, it took you so long to get over this person, whereas for me, it's like my past relationship, we were together for literally...
For a long time.
Yeah, years, 10 years.
So you had...
11 years.
I feel like you had time to get over it.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's because it's like in that beginning, it's like, oh, love, 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 love. Then it's kind of like, okay, this is it. And then it's kind of like in the middle of this is it and to the end of the relationship, there was like that comfortableness where it was kind of like I was figuring myself out.
Everything's on standby.
Yeah. So yeah, basically it's like standby. And it's like I was figuring myself out, and that's where I got and exactly the experience. I experienced what you experienced, where you had to figure out what you wanted, figure out what relationships are and why you felt the way you did, and then really forgive a lot of things that you did, because otherwise, and
the other person too, especially.
And the other person, and not feel shame on yourself because of how you dealt with the situation.
Yeah. And it seems like something that you wouldn't even go through, because for me, it's something that I didn't expect, or like something that I would deal with.
Right.
And even though I was almost deceived at the point, because I would say, I'm not feeling that. I don't think I'm really feeling this. And then it's like I was really feeling this for such a long time. And I held off on dealing with it for such a long time that it prevented me from, being in college, being able to, and I love how my life has turned out because of, everything that I have going on for me right now, obviously us and our marriage, but it's like I missed out on things because of the stuff I was dealing with. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's where I'm saying, like, you deal with not shaming yourself, because you look back and you're like, once you realize, or like the light just shines on your life, and then you're seeing what everyone else is seeing, because they're probably telling you, dude, like, get over her. And like, same with me, it's like people would tell me, like, you shouldn't be in that relationship, it's no good, etc. Or, it's past its prime, past its time, or whatever, but then you don't see it. But then when you see it, it's like, dang, I spent all these years, I spent all this time, and like, gosh, I used to always tell myself I was so silly, like, silly girl, like, why did you do that? And it's like, for a while, I felt shame, like, I don't know why didn't I fix it, or what did I do, what could I have done to fix it, and all these things. But then after a while, I was kind of like, okay, I just forgave myself, forgave the person, and then just moved on. I keep wanting to look at this thing. Sorry.
It is different in your situation too.
Yeah.
With Kellen,
because I have Kellen, yeah.
So it's a whole different thing, because, just obviously that, and that speaks for itself. And having to deal with that, battling, is the relationship worth your son? Now our son, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot to consider. It's like, do I want Kellen to think, or do I want to basically put myself under pressure for the entirety of my child's childhood just to make it seem like everything's okay?
And see, that was a lot of it too that kept me bound down, because it's like, okay, I obviously had sex before marriage, I wasn't married, there was no commitment, got pregnant, and still no commitment. And then it's like, so it's a lot of, I'm going to try to do this the right way, because I didn't do this the right way, which caused me to make a lot of decisions that I normally wouldn't have made if I wouldn't have put myself in that situation at first. So it's like, the first decision I made to be intimate before marriage caused like a domino effect of my life, of me making decisions that weren't supposed to be there at that time, or decisions I wasn't supposed to be making at that time. Yeah.
Hey guys, this video ended up being really long, but it's not a bad thing. I made it into 2 parts, so make sure to stay tuned to the next episode. It's going to be dropping.
Juicy.
It does. It gets really good. The ending is like pretty insane, because we talked about some really deep stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, stay tuned to the next episode. Thanks for watching this episode, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.